Okay, is it just me, or has the world gone like completely mad? Like, I'm a single mum.
So last night I went on a meetup. A meetup that should have been an email, really, for being honest. But the guy was, I can only describe him as a version of Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, except he had a British accent. So I decided to go and meet him near his area of Balmain. And, you know, over the phone we seem to have good banter. English and Australian. We have dry sense of humours. We tend to get along really well, take the piss out of each other, all that sort of stuff. And then we started talking about dating and what we each thought was the hardest part about the apps and dating at our age. And I said, well, I think with the apps, the thought that you just have so many options rather than getting to know somebody for who they are. And I said, in my experience, what I've noticed is people are always looking for that 1% better. And he said, well, yes, there are a lot of options out there. And I said, well, yes, for you guys, I feel as though there are a lot of amazing options out there. I said, but for women, not so much. And he's like, well, how do you describe that? And I said, well, and he said, how do you find dating for your age bracket? He goes, because, it's harder for women, older women, with children especially, because men my age, he was 45, by the way, I'm 44. Men my age want to go out with the younger women because of their beauty. And I said, oh, their beauty. And he goes, well, yes. He goes, like younger women have their youth and they're gorgeous. Older women, they kind of let themselves go a little bit. I'm like, huh. I go, well, in my opinion, I said, and it seems to happen, I said, men that are in their mid-40s tend to date women in their 20s because they're easier to manipulate. And they don't want to date women who are their age because they're already well established. And he was like, oh, well, that's a super negative thing to say. I was like, but it's true. He's like, but like, that's just a really negative thing to say, like, especially when you're sitting here on a date. I was like, and you saying that older women let themselves go and therefore men want to date younger women because of their beauty? I'm like, okay, mate.
An older woman sits across from a man her own age, hears him say the obvious truth that men are attracted to youth and beauty, and she immediately flips into, you only date younger women because they're easier to manipulate. Women use this tactic to compensate for their own insecurities. Men her own age don't choose her anymore, so the moment a man admits he prefers someone younger and more beautiful, she slaps him with the manipulator label to guilt him back into her dating pool. It's a shaming tactic wrapped in fake moral outrage. And notice the irony. She says older women don't have many options, but the second a man explains why, she doesn't like it. Men aren't choosing younger women because they're dumb. They're choosing them because they're pleasant, because they still bring femininity instead of resentment, because they see men as partners, not opponents. This older woman is just upset. Younger, beautiful women outperform her in the marketplace that she thought she'd dominate forever.
Not my problem.
America, we have a problem. That was my fiance. Anyway, I digress. But we do have a worldwide problem. I watched a podcast today and they said that 25% of women are out earning their partners, as in they're earning more money than their partners. I want to know, women who got married young, let's say, and the husband was typically the provider and he earned more money than you, but then you superseded his income, what did he then do to compensate for the fact that you are now the provider? Did he step in logistically with more emotional support? Did he help with the kids more? Was he more hands-on with like getting lunches and stuff ready? Like the dynamic shifts when the woman is earning more money. Did he give you something else, or did he just kind of step off to the side and then left you doing all of it? Because I feel like that's why a lot of marriages and relationships crumble, because when the woman takes over, the man doesn't know what to do, but rather than step into that role and be supportive in another way, he just stays status quo. And so therefore resentment then builds from the woman, potentially resentment builds from the man because he doesn't know what to do, and it can all come crumbling down. 75% of women want men to earn equal or above. So I'm not the minority here. It's a over 50% statistic, and 50% of women want the man to be taller than them. So therefore you've got this protector role and provider role all wrapped into one. But women are getting taller. As we age, men are getting shorter. And the men that are in that top 10% of earning capacity have so much choice, as we all know. They're probably not going to want to date an older woman or even care about a financially secure woman because they don't care. So their options are endless, which means that they're spinning in a whole different world and maybe not settling down because there's so many choices. So we have this massive disconnect. So it's finally dawned on me this morning that me looking for a partner who's taller than me and financially secure, equal or above, is going to be really, really tricky. Because as all the men have said in the comments, they don't want me because I'm old. And 25% of men care about women's finances. So therefore, they're not looking for wealthy women. It's no wonder financially secure women are struggling to find a mate. It's not like there's no good men out there. It's just that we don't want to date anyone that's potentially shorter than us and earns less than us, which means that we're leaving that whole 75% of men in the bottom barrel. Okay, which means that maybe, as of today, I need to look for a short broke man. But then, or accept being single. So it's a little bit confronting because I have this positive mindset that it's going to happen. But I think based on research, it's not.
She talks like she's just discovered a glitch in the matrix when she's really describing a system women built themselves. For decades, women openly said, I want a man taller than me, richer than me, more successful than me. They wanted to date up. They wanted the provider-protector hybrid. And now she's shocked that the top 10% of men, the exact men women compete for, have unlimited options. That isn't a worldwide problem. That's basic supply and demand. She asks, what happens when a woman starts earning more? It's simple. The dynamic breaks because she doesn't want to provide. She doesn't respect a man she out-earns. Women raise the bar so high that they price themselves out of their own dating market, and now they're calling it a crisis. It's not a crisis. It's the predictable result of decades of hypergamy and women's inability to respect men regardless of their height and the size of their wallet.
Well, it's her own fault.
Real men of genius.